Hello and welcome to Solar with Sanjay. I'm Sanjay, and today we're going to take a look at the new Bluetti AC2A. This video will contain a couple different components, so I'll cover those now. First, we're going to take a look at the overview of the AC2A. Secondly, we're going to take a look at what comes in the box. And thirdly, you might remember this guy here. Let's see how they compare. So what is the AC2A? This is Bluetti's newest power station. They're calling it their lightweight and mighty power station. It's currently the lightest solar generator in Bluetti's lineup at just 7.9 pounds, but packing a powerful 204 watt-hour capacity with a surge capacity of 600 watts. Now, you might be thinking of that and saying, hey Sanjay, didn't Bluetti have some other power stations in the past that were smaller too? They did. Remember the AC10 and the AC20? Well, technically these two are discontinued, so they're no longer part of the lineup. So it's part of the new lineup that contains the lithium iron phosphate model, app support, this new screen. This is now the new reigning champion as the lightest model. Let's take a look at that LCD screen. So as you can see, it shows us real-time voltage, power, and charge status in vivid detail on the vibrant LCD screen. Very easy to see this from different angles. You can see it outdoors as well. And just keep in mind, you as a user, you have the flexibility to adjust what the output voltage is, the frequency depending on your country, the charging mode, the power mode, and you can see in time information according to your needs. This will display how long it's going to take to charge to 100%, and once you start to discharge, how long you have until it discharges to 0. This AC2A features lithium iron phosphate cells, which gives you a battery life up to 3,000 cycles at 80% capacity. So not only is this little guy powerful, but it's designed to last. And at the same time, it's going to be quiet, emitting less than 50 decibels of noise. So who is the AC2A really designed for? It's designed for someone who wants a light, portable power station without making much sacrifice. 300 watt output, 600 watt surge capacity, while maintaining that 204 watt hours capacity. So if you're going camping, if you're going hiking, this is easy and light enough to grab, throw in your car, throw in a backpack, have in your bag, and take with you. Combine that with Bluetti's 5-year warranty, that really shows their commitment to quality and customer satisfaction. Alright, for this first test, we're going to take a look at powerlifting mode. This is where the unit can support more than 300 watts by adjusting the voltage of the output itself. So for this, we'll be testing this hairdryer. This uses about 450 watts when plugged into the wall. As you know, the AC2A here supports 300 watts with a 600 watt surge. So to test this, we're going to put it in low mode and let it run for 2 minutes. So that did work. Now again, the key here is for using resistive loads. So something like this hair dryer, or an electric cooktop, those are going to be what you want to target here. Okay, now I'm going to show you a little bit more on the powerlifting mode. I mentioned it adjusts the voltage, so I'm going to go ahead and plug in this meter here so we can monitor the output voltage. Right now it's closer to about 120 volts. Let's put this in low mode and you'll see the voltage drop. So if you saw that, it dropped to about 94 volts. So what it's doing is it's tricking the appliance into thinking it's getting full power, so it can operate, but it's still technically only outputting a maximum of 300 watts. So it's very important to make sure not to use this with sensitive electronics, only with something like a hairdryer or an electric cooktop. Alright, here we will be doing a discharge test. I'll be using this external meter so I can keep track of how long it's taking and how much power is actually coming out of this little guy. If I do this right, it should be drawing about 240 watts. There you go. You can see the meter accuracy there. The AC2A showing about 237. My external meter about 235, fluctuates a little bit. So we'll return to this when the test is complete. Okay, so we have the results of the discharge test. It lasted 44 minutes and it provided 170 kilowatt hours, or about 83%, so not bad. Now we're going to go ahead and charge it back up, and we'll put the meter on the other side. Okay, so the AC2A just finished recharging from 0 to 100%. You can see here it took 0.26 kilowatt hours. So if we consider that over the 204 watt hours that this thing supports, it's about 79% efficient for charging. It was charging in standard mode, so it took about 130 minutes. It averaged about 130 watts constantly the whole time, a little bit less at the very beginning and a little bit less at the very end. Here we're going to take a look at charging the Bluetti AC2A with the Bluetti PV200 solar panels. Step 1. Go ahead and open up the Bluetti solar panels and set up the kickstands. Step 2. Connect the cables on the back of the PV200 with the solar charging cable that came with the AC2A. Step 3. Connect the solar charging cable to the DC port on the front of the AC2A via the XT60 connector. Once connected, the AC2A will automatically turn on and start charging, slowly ramping up to the maximum it can achieve given the current scenario. Please remember to keep the AC2A out of direct sunlight, as this portion of the video is for demonstration purposes only. And then enjoy that sweet, sweet solar-powered energy straight to your AC2A. So what comes in the box? You have the user manual from Bluetti that walks you through how the power station operates, and you have some charging cords. So here is the AC adapter. This is similar to what you'd have for a computer monitor. No external charging brick. You simply plug into the AC2A directly into the outlet, and you have UPS mode, you have fast charging. We'll get into the charging speeds in a moment. Along with that, you have a solar charging cable, and you have a grounding connector. This would screw into the side of the unit and give you the ability to ground the power station. Next, we're going to take a look at the Bluetti app and how that works with the AC2A. So here I'm using an Android phone. All you do is you search for Bluetti. Make sure you download the Bluetti app from Bluetti Official. And we'll go ahead and open that up here. Once we do so, we'll go into the AC2A. When you do it the first time, you'll click that Add button and scan the code on the back of the unit. But here we can see the AC2A and how it kind of mirrors what's happening there on the screen in the background. You have the ability to turn AC, DC off, monitor how much you're generating from solar, which I haven't used that a ton yet, and you can actually turn it on and off, or you can turn it off remotely from here. Once the unit is off, you have to turn it on manually by pressing the power button there on the unit. If we go into settings, this is where we can get the user manual. We can change the charging mode. Right now it's in standard. You can see there's turbo and silent. I can try turbo. We're currently pretty charged, so it may not kick in at that high of a charge rate. Nope. So we'll leave that in standard mode. We have a choice again of those three. Silent's going to charge the slowest, but also the quietest. Standard is going to charge in the middle there, have a little bit of fan noise, and turbo, it's going to charge at a much higher rate, which is really only recommended for extreme situations where you need it charged immediately so you can head out the door. Powerlifting mode, this is what we tested earlier. This is where you turn that on. Eco mode. So this is a nice touch. This is where you can set when to automatically turn off AC and DC based on usage. So you can set the amount of time, a minimum cutoff for power draw, and this is just a way to save the battery of the AC2A. Auto sleep, I currently have this set to never. This is how long the screen stays on. So do you want the screen to time out? You can set that here, or you can set it to never, and it'll stay on as soon as the unit is turned on and charging. Firmware upgrade, this is where you can check for any updates to the unit itself. This is pretty important. You want to make sure to do this pretty regularly to fix any bugs that the unit may have and may be discovered over time. And the last is advanced. This is where you can set your AC output frequency. For the United States, we're at 60 Hz, so we'll select that one. There is also an option here for grid self-adaptation. This is really going to be more for areas that experience brownouts to allow the unit to continue to operate and not think the power is cutting out and switching back and forth. This is going to be applicable when you're using the UPS mode on the unit. So here we have the two units, the AC2A, the EB3A. What's the difference? What do you need to know? Think of the AC2A as a little brother to the EB2A. Differences being power output, power capacity, as well as the weight. So the AC2A, 300 watts with a 600 watt surge. EB3A, 600 watts with a 1200 watt surge. Power capacity, AC2A, 204.8 watt hours. EB3A, 268.8 watt hours. Solar charging input, the same, 200 watts for both. Outlets, 6 with the AC2A, 7 with the EB3A. Weight, AC2A, 7.9 pounds, EB3A, 10.14 pounds. So as you can imagine, you're going to get a little bit of a smaller unit with the AC2A. Not much, but if you look at them side by side, sharp corners here, rounded corners here. I'll also mention that on top, EB3A does have wireless charging. The new model is to not include that anymore. I think user feedback said that wasn't being used. So no more wireless charging on the AC2A. As a result, handle design is different here. EB3A, you have a pop-up handle. AC2A, you have one built into the unit. Now if we take a closer look at the two units, you can see the EB3A does have a light, AC2A does not. The functionality is a little bit different. Buttons designed here to turn on each individual module versus the AC2A, you have AC and DC right here as well as the main power button. Both have DC output. EB3A does have the barrel outputs as well for 12 volts. AC2A does not. Both have 100 watt USB-C. Both have 2 USB-A ports. Both have 2 AC outlet ports. The other difference here is going to be the DC inputs. So other than using the AC charging, if you want to use a DC input, EB3A uses the barrel DC7909 versus the AC2A uses this other port here. So let's go ahead and recap what we've talked about today. The new Bluetti AC2A is the newest power station as part of Bluetti's new lineup. Consider it another option in the spectrum of products offered by Bluetti. This one currently at the bottom end, meaning the smallest, the lightest, and the cheapest power station. When compared to the EB3A, again, you're getting a slightly smaller battery, a smaller inverter, but also less weight. So who would I say the AC2A is most applicable for? Someone who's looking for a powerful yet capable power station and really looking for the smallest and lightest package they can get. EB3A is going to offer a little bit more power in terms of the inverter, larger battery, but a little bit more weight and a slightly bigger package. My advice for a first-time buyer, this is a very capable unit, very well priced, but always aim for the power station that you can most afford at the current moment. What I found is you start somewhere and you're always wanting more power. So keep that in mind when choosing your first power station. What can I afford and what's the most bang I can get for my buck? That's all. Thank you for joining Solar with Sanjay. In case you were wondering, Bluetti did supply me with the AC2A for the purposes of making this video. However, they did not influence my opinions or the outcomes of this video. That's all me. As for the EB3A, that is my personal unit.